What is good, everybody? We're just going to get right into it here again. And as always, just dropping these next level truth bombs of what is really going on here on this realm. And I'm telling you, this is the most important thing you can know. People think people think shit is fake out here. People think magic is fake. People think this is just for illusion. This is just some sort of make believe nonsense. But there's such a large thing going on here that people really need to get woke up to. And it's not even woke again. I don't really prefer that word, but people need to come into realization of this salt covenant, what salt means, and if you don't know, go watch my other videos. Um, and I'm gonna get right into the salt thing here. It's what is the word metal? It's meta. Meta means mind. So metals have something to do with your mind. And when you put metals, heavy metals in drinking water, and it gets into your brain, and there's something happening in your brain where there are short circuits or cycles that occur in your brain because of those metals and salts as well in your brain. Uh, Now that's a basic thing that's happening just on a frequency, just walking around the environment. That's going to happen. You're going to have frequency modulations in your brain. Now imagine if people actually are using electrical technology that are what do you think these scepters are made of? What do you think when you go and see these pyramids, what they used to be with the capstones? What do you think these giant towers are all across the planet? Static electricity generators. What do you think orgonite is? It has a metal in the middle wrapped around a crystal, and then on the outside there is a inorganic substance. What do you think a wire is that goes into your electrical outlet? An orgonite deals with static electricity. What do you these people, they hold the rods that are made of metal, and they have all of these things on the top. Do you think that's just for fun? Do you think that's just cute? This is just, oh, that's just how they dress? What do you think those things on their heads are for? Now, when you get into you being an electrical generator, let's get this control mechanism. If they start telling you to consume salt because they have a covenant with Saturn, which is Saturnian, which is the salt god, which has everything to do with the black magic and time. And again, go watch my other videos on this. I'm not going to talk the whole way through it. But now that salt goes into your body, it's an inorganic substance. And so if you are not in control of yourself, you can easily be controlled literally on on a static electrical system. Basically, they people are using these devices just like people have telekinesis and psychokinesis powers. Everyone can see this. You go charge yourself up with a balloon. And what's a balloon, just by the way? It's called ball and loon, right? So loon or lunar. So it has this to do with ball and the moon. So that's just a little side note to wonder, to have a little curiosity of why these balloons create some sort of static charge and what's inside of the balloon. And as my other video, what do you think that is? Oxygen that you're breathing, Neo? Okay. Again, the salt thing. You put the salt in your body and in your brain, and you become, as you look at the battery, as I've explained before, a lemon has life unto itself. A potato, a living thing, has life unto itself. A human has life unto itself. Now all of a sudden you start putting salts and metals into your body. Well, the people that have control of their bodies with their scepters, with their orgonite, with their electrical generators, with their thoughts, which are electrical, with their mind and their body, they can produce a result in the population that they want. And they can use the television to do it because that's also throwing out electrical frequencies. And so whether they're using the television to control your mind just basically through the images, they're also doing it through the electrical currents. And outside of the TV, these things can still be done. That's what telekinesis is. That's what all of these PK things are. So you go and stick a battery into salt water, and now that battery can use that salt water as a conduit to jump the arc of electricity. What do you the Illuminati is the people that brought the illumination or brought the light. But it's a false light because they're using electricity to do it, and then they hide it from you because they're giving it to you for they're charging you for something that is freely given to you in the air. And then they paid you with salt. This is why the salt and your salary and celery is so much sodium and salt. So we get into like the kings giving this goes back into the lineage of paying people their worth in salt. But what did these people need salt for? They didn't need salt. And then all of a sudden people are under this delusion that they need salt. And again, salt is a cube. For anybody, go watch my other videos. It's a cube. It's six-sided Saturnian cube, and it incubates you. You go into incubation, and they can control you because your brain now, they send out electrical signals, and it goes into your brain, and it short circuits your brain. It literally makes a reaction happen in your brain every time. And if it's in your body, now you consume this salt, and you're more easily controlled. Remove the salt. Can anybody throw a charge at you? No. How could they? They don't. If you don't have those things in your body, you wouldn't respond to it. If you were an organic creature with organic salts in you, now this goes into so many other things. This is such a large study into the carbon-based creatures, what melanin is, and how melanin is connected to carbon, and a carbon. Here you go, carbon, which is an arc bond. It's a bonding of an arc. So a carbon-based system which we live in as a body, as our temple, and all of these carbons that are coming, it's the reason I got into the other, watch my other videos on what the trees are and why you write with a pencil. And a pencil produces the ash, and that ash is the carbon that you write with. And this is, this goes into scantrons and testing and writing down thoughts and manifestation and using carbon to do that. This magic is actually bound into like scientific rigor that you just aren't aware of because you're consuming the salt. The salt is what is controlling you. It's not controlling you, it's allowing you to be controlled. Because now that salt and is an inorganic element that doesn't leave your body, it short circuits your system every single time. So now if you want to have control of your system, remove the salt from your system and start putting the real, true light into you, which I was explaining in a few of my other videos. Once again, the photosynthesis that's occurring to create this energy within the plant life that makes things glow. Look into Kirlian photography. Look into just the ideas of like, I was getting into why people were drinking quinine and why that glows in the dark. And that energy that's within that system isn't a salt-based, an inorganic salt-based system. Because a salt on its own can do nothing. It needs the charge. It needs the battery to work. And so the battery is the scepter. The battery is those onks. You think that was just for fun? You think these things are... No, these are real things that are being used everywhere. They're just right in front of your face. And I'll do some further videos on this. But this is just getting it out there once again that I think the most important thing that anybody can understand is salt is not your friend. Inorganic salts are not your friend at all. See this little baby over here in the corner? Its head, it's charged up with static electricity. Yeah, that's energy you can have in your body, but how is that? It's expressing it through what? Why is the hair stand on its end? What is this? What is the hair made of? I mean, you could get into, depending on what culture, or not what culture you are, but what race you are. I mean, that's not even the right word either, but the hair is made of silicon, and we can get into how the human body is essentially a battery, and if you're putting salt in it and not providing your own source of energy through alkaline living systems, and this is not suggesting to go drink the Kangen water either, or the other mineral waters that are there's so much. Put the distilled water in you. Make it easy. Put the distilled water in you. Go get some lemons. You want to really do some crazy work? Go get some lemons. do the lemonade cleanse, and by that I mean just drink lemonade all day. See how quickly you start to build up a charge, a real charge inside of yourself. Now, once you start doing that, you better know how to direct your energy, or you're going to be screwing up computers and screwing up. Like this once again goes into people ask me, well, why aren't you doing this? Well, who says I don't? Who says I haven't? But sometimes you have to pull yourself away from the energy because it courses through you too much, and you'll end up breaking electrical things if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to bind it in your body, if you don't know how and haven't have enough. Um, Basically, so in a wire you have your copper wire, then you have the rubber around it. Well, if you're not, think of it this way: if the reason that Indian food is called curry, it's currency, it's energy. There's energy. That food is put, the curry that is the heat, which is the heat is the currency, is the energy that goes into that food. They always have something that is a fat to basically, so that the people don't explode with energy. There's always the milk fat. There's the oil, and there's oil that goes into your system to lubricate it and to not basically burn yourself out, because if you don't have the right amount of oil in your system, and once again this goes, your body would be making its own oils in the future, but for now you should be consuming the, clean your body out, then put the good oils in through the nuts and the seeds. And it's the insulation is what I'm getting at here. You have to insulate your body to be able to handle the electrical current that will be going through you. And don't be fooled. The salt is not what you need. The salt is, I'm really putting it out there, is what I really think is happening is people are being controlled because they're consuming salt. The salt allows for that arc to be spread from the television or whatever source it is that is throwing energy at you, whether it's another human being with whatever that human being's intentions are, good, bad, indifferent. You can be affected by that. Now, if you remove all of those inorganic elements from your body, you can no longer be affected by that. Then you become the chancellor of effective communication of energy and becoming a channel for energy, and you don't get stuck into what would be considered one radio station. If you have put salt into your body, and specific salts, you'll be on that frequency, that specific frequency, and you can get stuck on that frequency. And then you remove all the salts and things become like, whoa, things open up, but now all of a sudden it can get a little confusing because there's just too many opportunities, there's too many frequencies that you're dealing with. So you can always, again, this is not saying salt is evil per se. It's just know what, when you clean your body out, that you put one single element into you, you'll be on that frequency. But people have been on the same frequency because they keep consuming the salt and they can't clean it out of their system, so they can't think differently. They literally are physically bound to a thought process and patterning. They're bound to physical movement pattern. You put too much salt into your body, and your body becomes dried out and rigid and stuck into a specific physical system. Just the same with the mental system. So that's all I want to get out there now, and we'll go deeper on this into the balloons and the energy systems and what you can look for outside in nature, and what trees are, and what all of these giant masts are for, and what energy, how this energy is created. But once again, this goes into the ether and the aether and the electrical system that you walk through every day. It's all around you, charged air. Here, just it goes into waterfalls. Why do you think waterfalls are throwing out negative ions? People feel alive when they're around waterfalls because they're spitting out negative ions, so it grabs onto heavy positive ions in the air and pulls them to the earth, thereby cleaning the air and charging it with electricity. So you go there and you breathe in, and that's prana right there. That's chi. If you were right near a waterfall, the energy that you'd be getting for free off that waterfall would be, you could live next to the waterfall. You probably wouldn't, there you go. You can closer to nature, to what you need to eat and consume. You'd be taking in the electric charge right there. Okay, y'all. Cheers. Talk to y'all soon.